Back working on the old Bronco. The next step, something I've been kind of putting off because it's not going to be very pleasant, but I've got to finish off the underside of these floor pans that I put in. It's just got that E-coat on it, and it's got welds that need to be cleaned up and that kind of thing. So it was too high to do it while laying on my back, and it was too low to do it while sitting up under the truck, so I raised the truck as much as I could, maxed out my jack stands and put a little cribbing under them to get a little bit more. And then I hadn't tightened the body mounts down yet, so I went ahead and raised the body itself and added some custom pavers under there to give me a little more room. Now I can kind of sit up right under it while I scuff all the E-coat and then use a little abrasive wheel on the burn marks from the welds. And by raising that body up, it gave me a little room off the frame too, so I can get up underneath there. This side over here is pretty minimal. Just need to kind of scuff it and shoot it. The other side over there, there's a couple of welds that I'm not happy with that I'm going to redo. And then because I have those body mounts, no support under there, so I could work on it, I put a little bit of strain on that chain. It's not holding much, just to keep the body from sagging there in the middle. Not a whole lot to show underneath it, but I'll try to get a finished shot of how it turns out. The underside of the pans that I put in and the inner rockers that I replaced had to be sanded, primed, painted, and I sprayed it when it was all done with this Duplicolor undercoating. So thought about using this Raptor liner stuff, but it seemed like kind of a waste underneath, and the rest of the truck's been undercoated. I also did some seam sealing while I was under here, and wasn't too worried about being neat being I was under the truck. So did it almost as sloppy as they did it at the factory. But that's what it looks like undercoated. It's not very heavy undercoating, which I didn't really expect it to be. The rest of this truck was undercoated, and it's just gobbed on there. That's all undercoated till you get back toward the back there where the fuel tank was. Fuel tank shielded that piece of the bed back there from undercoating, so it's nice and clean. But all that heavy gooby stuff is undercoating with brown mud on it. But anyway, that's what I did on the underside. You can see the underside of the rockers where I replaced those. And not to make you dizzy, but I did the same thing over on that side over there. And that's all done at this point. I can do some things now, like maybe put the spare tank back in if I'm going to use it. I haven't quite decided yet. But I can start moving on with some other things because this is all protected now. I don't have to worry about it rusting from sitting out here. So seam sealed, primed, painted, and undercoated. I think would be alright. That daylight coming through, that's the little holes where the weather strip pokes through. Of course, some bolt holes up in there for seats and such, but nothing to be concerned about.